guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Haley. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day and a wonderful December so far. So today I have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer video that's all about Buffy for those of my Buffy the Vampire Slayer enthusiasts. So if something that's not interesting to you, totally understand. But your girl's gonna be ranting. Not ranting, just talking, exclaiming, going on about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, first things first, look at this Buffy candle that I found, this prayer candle. Isn't it amazing? I almost had a stroke when I saw this. Yeah, one of my favorite items I own. Love it, absolutely love it. Also, in the theme of today's video, I am wearing my trench coat, my leather jacket, my spike jacket. For being real, my spike jacket. So the reason I even got inspired to make a video about Buffy the Vampire Slayer is because basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of ruined TV for me in general, like TV shows, honestly, like fictional work, fictional things, I don't know. And I wanted to make a video just talking about it and all things Buffy because as cringy as this might sound to some of you, 2020 was the year of me watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time. So I know it's a show that has been out for over 20 years, and I decided to watch it finally. I had a lot of people telling me like, hey, you know, like you like a lot of shows that are similar, or you're a huge vampire fan, you need to watch Buffy. Have you not watched Buffy? And I hadn't. And because, you know, we were all stuck at home and had nothing to do, and a lot of us watched shows, and that's exactly what I did. And I finally gave it a chance. And I keep saying and, I'm sorry. If you are not following me on social media and don't know me, then you don't know this, but I am completely obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is one of my hyper fixations. It is one of my favorite things of life. And it is now my favorite show of all time, which is a lot to say about a show that I literally watched, a year ago? And it's just been like life-changing, as cheesy as that sounds. I literally feel like it gave me like a new interest and just a new like piece of fun, you know, in my life. So it's, you know, if you've never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, first of all, I'm surprised you're still here. Second of all, watch it. Like, I feel like everyone can get like a little something out of that show at least. I know I'm being biased, but just watch it. It's great. It's fantastic. And this isn't a show review by any means. I do a lot of show reviews, and honestly, that's what made me even want to film this video. Was I always used to do like, oh, you know, Bates Motel review or yada 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 review. And since watching Buffy, I feel like shows don't even feel the same to me anymore. Like, when I watch shows, I get really bored. I end up pausing them a bunch of times and going on my phone because I feel like the elements that I love so much in Buffy, sorry, I had like a hiccup, aren't there. And so I just get bored easier. The other thing, this is just me, this is me thing. I love Spike and I love Angel very much. And I feel like they both have their issues. I'm not saying they don't. But both of them as characters are just so well written, and they have ruined any romance storyline in any other show for me, because say I'm watching another show and there's like the will they won't they scenario, or just, you know, any issues with like a girl and her boyfriend, I'm always like, girl, dump him. He's not an immortal vampire. He's not, you guys don't have immortal love. He's not, you know, just, he's not a vampire. And maybe that's made me a little bit toxic, but man, I just feel like the biggest thing about Buffy, I feel like all of the characters, not all, I don't like all the characters, but the characters in Buffy are so well written. A lot of people, you know, argue about the show like, oh, it's a shittily written show, or it just has bad writing. And I agree some of the time, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like Joss Whedon makes really bad choices. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, and this isn't a video about Joss Whedon by any means. Disassociate him from this. You know, I know a lot of controversy has gone on with him. Personally, I would like fist fight Joss Whedon if I could. So that's my feelings on the matter. But I feel like he has made very poor choices with some of the characters. But besides that, the characters, if nothing else, I feel like are so well written, and so many of, the Buffy fans and fan base have gotten so attached to these characters because they're so human and flawed, but also they just have so much depth to them. Like, I feel like every single character, even the minor ones. And I love how this show definitely does. I mean, I'm a sucker for that whole, like, villain to hero story anyways. I think that that's very, very cool, and it's something I like a lot. But I like how the Buffy universe, so I'm going to be talking about Angel, the series, a little bit too. I like how both of these shows can turn a character that you don't like per se, or that is a bad person, or you're just not a fan of, and it can make you like cry for this character and feel things. And that's the biggest thing at the end of the day, is I feel like no other show has made me feel things the way that Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, the series, have made me feel. Definitely gotten in my feels for both of these series as shows. What is the correct word for that? I sound like an idiot. Series? What? I feel like series is plural. Sorry, the girl's an idiot, I guess. So I have a lot of followers that like Buffy. I've actually realized through showing, this side of me on social media, which I do a lot because I love it. It's something I love to talk about. I love to watch. It's my comfort show, so I love talking about it. And I realized a lot of you guys love it too. I know it's a cult show, it's like a cult classic at this point, and it's also on a lot of lists for like, greatest shows of all time, which I think definitely is deserved. But another reason I wanted to make this video was a lot of you guys actually like reply to my shit when I talk about Buffy, or like the Buffy content that I've put out. So hence, here we go. But a lot of these same people have and will refuse to watch Angel, the series, and I do want to talk about that really quick. So if you're on the fence about watching Angel, the TV series, and it's for reasons like you don't like Angel or anything, and the characters. Honestly, when I first even heard about Angel, the TV series, I was like, I don't care for the other characters on this show. This show focuses so much on character development. Like, I'm not going to say much because it might be a spoiler, but Wesley, if you know who that is, I absolutely hated Wesley. Like, it was one of the reasons I was like, I don't want to watch this show, ew. Wesley is one of my favorite characters in the Buffy universe, like hands down, because of Angel, the series. So the characters that you get in Buffy are not the same in Angel, if that at least piques your interest a little bit. Also, Angel as a character is so much better in Angel, the series, than in Buffy. Like, so much better. Couple of little warnings. First thing is that there's a lot of filler episodes in Angel. I feel like there are certain episodes they could have definitely gotten rid of, or the second thing is, honestly, and a lot of shows do this. There's a storyline that has you on the fence. You are binge watching this show because you need to know what happens next. All of a sudden, oh, no. Oh, this person's dying? No, you get 5 episodes about shit you don't care about. And I hated that. But such a good show. Season 5 is one of the best seasons of any show I've ever watched of Angel, so give it a try, please. Just at least try it. If you don't like it, fine. But I enjoyed it. On to the next category of this, Team Angel or Team Spike. If you're a Buffy fan, that's the question, right? So I think it's pretty obvious. I was Spike for Halloween. I'm wearing, technically this could be an Angel or a Spike jacket. They both love their trench coats. I'm Team Spike all the way. Spike is one of my favorite characters in the entire world now. I love Spike, and just in Buffy, he's my favorite. So Spike goes without saying. That is like the man of my dreams. I'm in love with Spike. But unlike a lot of Buffy fans, I love Angel too. I love them both. I have giant crushes on both of them. And also, like I said, Angel in the series is so much better than in Buffy. And from the moment I saw Angel in Buffy, like season 1, I was like, ooh, who is that? Oh my god. So I love them both. And I have actually, in Angel, there's a Buffy episode, the I Will Remember You episode. It's an Angel and Buffy episode. I have never cried harder to any fictional piece ever, like any movie, anything, than this episode. As a Spike fan, as a Spuffy shipper. Like, yeah. So I do love them both a lot. And I was actually, like, I was, you know, Team Angel until Spike, like, became, you know, one of the main characters. So, I love them both. I see both sides of it, but Spike all the way. Spike has my heart. And then another thing with Buffy as a show. I feel like one thing I search for in shows is an emotional attachment, not just to characters, but just, oh, this is going to sound emo, but I like things that make me cry. I like things that pull on my heartstrings, and I like things that make me feel something. I think we all do, you know, like when you watch something, you don't want to not care about it. These shows really, really hurt me a lot, and I was just very invested in their problems. And it's just an attachment I can't find with a lot of shows anymore. I feel like the emotional side of it, I don't know. I will say, surprisingly, Angel the series made me cry more than Buffy. Like, there was some shit. But something that really kept me attached was just that. Like, I feel like they put so much into that, you know, emotional bond that you have with a show. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't even really know the point of this video besides just, like I said, I mean, the initial thing. I feel like Buffy ruined shows for me. Ruined them. But I just wanted to talk to my fellow Buffy enthusiasts about the show. Like I said, it's not really a review of the series, but 10 out of 10. Love it. It's very, very cheesy. It is. Especially season 1's so campy. And it has its flaws. I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't. Like, oh my god, the effects are so bad. Especially watching it now. Like, that didn't age good. But I feel like the storylines held up really well. And even just, like, the metaphors of high school and everything held up really well. My biggest regret was not watching this show, like, 8 years sooner. Like, I really wish that I watched this when I was in high school. I feel like it definitely would have gotten me through some shit. Like, even, you know, during this year, we've all been uptight and just stressed and all these things. And I feel like this has definitely been an outlet that I have just completely dived into. And it's my comfort show. It's helped my anxiety a lot. I love it. And so I wish it was in my life sooner. Funny enough, for those of you that are like, why didn't you watch Buffy sooner? Number one, it just didn't appeal to me. I remember going to, like, box lunch and stores and they had Buffy merch and I was like, who would buy that? And I'm like, me, I would buy that. But it just didn't appeal to me for whatever reason, even though it's vampires. Hot vampires. And Sarah Michelle Gellar. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. But I honestly, I'm going to blame my mom for this. When I was a kid, I was brought up on horror movies. I've talked about this before on social media and I think on YouTube. My dad basically raised me on horror movies since I was like 6 or 7. And my mom wasn't super fond of it, but she didn't, like, forbid it or anything. She was just like, I don't know, I feel like she just looked the other way and was like, whatever. But the one thing I was not allowed to watch was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I have no idea why, because compared to the shit I was watching, really not a problem. But honestly, I feel like her reasoning was she knew. She knew I would end up this hyper fixated ass bitch, and she didn't want it. She was like, no. So I feel like I didn't have the nostalgia value to it. Like, a lot of people watched it when they were kids and, you know, definitely already loved it. Because what do we love more than nostalgia? We all love things that are nostalgic and just remind us of the good old days. I didn't have that attachment with this show. So I hate to be like one of those, I feel like one of those people, like, I feel like those like new emo kids that were all like, oh honey, like you're new, you don't know what you're doing. I feel like that's how people probably look at me. Like, I definitely feel judged from the community, but it's okay. I love it, and I'm a part of it too now. But I just wish I watched it sooner. I genuinely regret it taking me this long, because one of my favorite things in the world. Like I said, the minute I finished the show, I was like, damn, that's my favorite show of all time. Now, those of you who have not watched Buffy that are still here, I don't know why. Thank you for still being here. But if you're wondering, like, oh well, what kind of shows do you like, you know, that might, like, if you want to relate, like, oh maybe you should watch Buffy. My favorite shows before Buffy, and that are still up there, it's just Buffy kind of pushed them down on the ladder a little bit. Bates Motel was my favorite serious show of all time, and then Dexter. I love, like, darkly inclined shows and just, you know, kind of dark material. And those are my two favorites. And then I really like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is completely different. That's my other comfort show and my other favorite show of all time. But that, I feel like those two things don't relate. But so if you like those two shows, maybe give Buffy a try. I think it definitely will be up your alley if you're kind of into darker themed shows. It's a horror show, so I feel like I definitely had another point to make, and I don't remember what it was. Thank you so much for watching me ramble on about Buffy for 15 minutes. I hope that if you're watching this, you enjoy the show as much as I do, or that, you know, like you're a fan and love it too. But again, this has been really fun, just meeting people that like the show so much and having kind of a new thing to really love. It's fun. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I haven't experienced this in a while, but you know how sometimes when you're having a really good moment or a good time, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but something clicks and you're like, oh my god, like the good old days, like I'm living in it. Like right now, I'm gonna later on be like, oh, I wish I could relive that moment again. Somewhere along the lines, when I was watching season 2 of Buffy, the whole Angelus storyline, as I was watching it, I was so goddamn invested. Like I was so invested, and I realized I was having so much fun watching this show. Fun that I haven't had in a while. And it hit me that I was like, fuck, when this show is over, I'm gonna be so depressed, and I'm going to just be like, man, I wish I could watch Buffy for the first time. Like, that was so much fun, and I knew I would look back even on the pandemic and even be like, oh, remember when you got to just watch Buffy? And I haven't had that for many things, but the sadness already hit me of like, oh shit, I'm, you know, not gonna ever be able to watch this for the first time again. And I will say, if you have not watched Buffy, it definitely doesn't start off the best. Season 1, like I said, really campy, a little bit slower moving, but I would say by the end of season 1, I already was pretty hooked on the series. I think the first few episodes I definitely had to like have something to snack on to kind of watch it, but after that, man, I was hooked. Angela series, kind of the same thing, but I feel like both of them get good by the end of the season. So, like I said, biggest takeaway from the video, I love Buffy. I'm sure if you follow me on anything, you already knew that. But if you haven't watched Buffy, watch Buffy. That is it for this video. It is going to be 20 minutes long, and that's embarrassing. So, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this, and have a wonderful rest of your December. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. I love you guys so much. Bye.